When it comes to the potential Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, a discussion I frequently come across online is whether Dynamaxing will make an appearance in the new Sinnoh region. Although some fans don't really care, I believe most people do not want this feature to return for a variety of reasons, including the slowness of the animations, the quote-unquote laziness behind the gimmick of every Pokemon just growing in size, and most of all, the fact that Mega Evolutions were simply better in every way. But if we're to base our assumptions off past Pokemon generations, then it's pretty much inevitable that Dynamaxing will make its way to Sinnoh if the next games are indeed Diamond and Pearl remakes. So let's talk about it. Before we jump into the video, you might notice I had to pick up a part-time job, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Help your boy out. At first glance, it appears as if Dynamaxing absolutely has to return in Sinnoh Remakes because it's the hot new gimmick in Generation 8, and not having the feature would make online battling incompatible with Sword and Shield players. But perhaps we're forgetting Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire introduced new Mega Evolutions that weren't in Pokemon X and Y. Game Freak worked around this issue by making it so certain Mega Stones weren't allowed when battling against players still on the previous games. With Dynamax, however, we face the opposite issue, where players on the newer games wouldn't have access to giant Pokemon if they chose to scrap the feature, and the only way to balance this would be to take Dynamax away from Sword and Shield players when they're fighting against people on the remakes. Or you could make them not be able to battle against each other at all, but that seems pretty unlikely with Pokemon's track record. Usually games in the same generation can interact with each other through trading and battling, and only certain Pokemon aren't allowed to be traded over. But now that we have frequent patches in Pokemon, they could easily add in the data for any potential new Gigantamax forms, so Sword and Shield players can at least battle against them, even if they can't obtain them in their games. Not including Dynamax also means one less marketing tool for selling the games. Although I think Diamond and Pearl remakes already sell themselves, it's undeniable how much fans love to see new forms for their favorite Pokemon. I've seen a lot of people lobbying for Mega Evolutions to return, and though I'd love nothing more than for Mega Infernape to exist, I believe this would bring a whole bunch more compatibility issues with Sword and Shield and be a nightmare to balance if both Mega Evolution and Dynamax existed at once. For all these reasons, I believe it's way easier for Game Freak to stick with Dynamaxing at least for the remainder of Generation 8, which brings me to my next question. Where does Dynamax come from in Sinnoh? The main problem with Dynamax Pokemon isn't balance or compatibility, it's the fact that Dynamaxing has been portrayed in every way as a feature exclusive to the Galar region. Let's start with Eternatus, a legendary Pokemon from Galar's history, whose energy is directly tied to the creation of power spots. The only spots, apparently, where trainers can trigger a Dynamax transformation. This led to many stadium-sized gyms being built directly on top of power spots so that gym leaders could Dynamax their Pokemon and have spectacular gym battles. The entire story of Sword and Shield revolves around these colossal battles and the fanatical culture of the Galar region rooting for their favorite Gigantamax Pokemon, which are stated many times to be unique to Galar. But this doesn't mean Pokemon can't pull a little retcon out of there. After all, they did this exact thing in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire with Mega Evolution, which was previously stated to be a phenomenon exclusive to the Kalos region. Until Mega Rayquaza came around and bust its meteor chunks all over the Hoenn region. And now we have multiple timelines in the Pokemon universe, one with Mega Evolution and the original timeline without it. It gets kinda complicated, and that could be a video all on its own, but they could definitely pull something similar in the Diamond and Pearl remakes and say after the events of the darkest day in Sword and Shield's climax, Eternatus' energy spread all the way to the other regions, so power spots started appearing in Sinnoh. This would probably mean all the gyms in Sinnoh would then be upgraded to giant stadiums, with each gym leader having new signature Gigantamax Pokemon, which in my opinion would deviate a bit too much from the original Diamond and Pearl and take away from what makes the Galar region unique. So I'd like to propose this theory instead. What if Dynamax energy in the new Sinnoh comes from the mascot legendary Pokemon, Dialga and Palkia, or even the god of Pokemon himself, Arceus. I don't know if you all agree with me on this, but I think it'd be a lot better if the gym challenge was closer to the original Diamond and Pearl, with no giant stadiums or Dynamaxing, so that can truly remain Galar's gimmick. It would be cool if instead the first time we saw Dynamax in the remakes was in the climax when you're facing off against the legendaries atop Mount Coronet. It could even be changed to a really epic raid battle where you team up with your rivals Barry, Dawn, and maybe even Cynthia to take on Dynamax, Palkia, or Dialga. These are the masters of time and space after all, so Pokemon could easily come up with an excuse explaining how they got their Dynamax energy. It could even tie back to Dynamax adventures in the Crown Tundra. After the climax, we wouldn't see Dynamax or Gigantamax again until the post-game, where the Battle Zone could return as the new wild area full of raid dens and giant Pokemon to catch. I feel like these changes would make sense gameplay and story-wise, as it would preserve enough elements from the original Sinnoh region for the old fans, while also adding new content in the post-game, which is something the last few games have been severely lacking. You could even save Gigantamax forms for the Sinnoh starters until after beating the Pokemon League and use them to fight the gym leaders in rematches, now with their own signature Gigantamax Pokemon. Yo, what if they bring back the Battle Frontier and that's where the giant stadiums to Dynamax are? Though I'd also want the old Battle Frontier stuff, but I'm just not very hopeful after what happened last time. I wouldn't be surprised if Game Freak just go for the predictable route and turn the Great Marsh into the new wild area, but you don't really go there until like halfway through the gym challenge, so it would definitely be different than Sword and Shield, where the wild area was front and center at the start of the game. Then again, the wild area is kinda like a new age safari zone, so it could definitely work. Anyway, I've been pretty half-hearted on Dynamax so far, so let's switch it up and talk about some of the positives of this feature coming to Sinnoh, and it's really just one thing. New Gigantamax forms. I'll be honest, the only thing I really like about Dynamax is the designs of some of the Gigantamax forms. While they may not change type or abilities like Mega Evolution, I feel like they had a lot of fun designing some of these ridiculously over-the-top versions of fan favorites. Even the Gigantamax forms for newer Pokemon wonderfully exaggerate the unique features that make that mon great, like Cinderace's Pyro Ball turning into a giant sun, or Inteleon hopping up on its sniper tower. When it comes to Sinnoh Remakes, the starters will definitely get new Gigantamax forms, and probably be part of the marketing for the games, much like Hoenn starters' Mega Evolutions were for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Like I said, I would prefer if Dynamaxing was saved for the post-game, but if each gym leader is able to Gigantamax their signature Pokemon, we could see a lot of cool new designs like G-Max Rampardos and Bastiodon for the father-son duo, Volkner with the G-Max Luxray, yo, that sounds so dope! Though I'd still prefer a dark and electric type Mega Luxray, but any love for Luxray is welcome at this point. I wonder if they'd prioritize Gen 4 Pokemon like Floatzel for Crasher Wake, or maybe give him a Gigantamax Gyarados instead, cause that sounds badass. I can imagine Fantina with the giant Mismagius, which actually reminds me of another possible concept. Anyone remember Pokemon contests? I know they haven't been around for a while now, but Fantina's whole shtick was being a contest star, and Hearthome City had a giant stadium just for contests, which would be the perfect place to host the new and improved Dynamax contest. What's better than a jolly performance with Pokemon? A jolly performance with giant Pokemon, of course. I don't know how that would exactly work gameplay-wise, but I feel like it would look really cool if combining max moves had unique animations. Then again, we're talking about Game Freak here, so it'd probably be the same animations from Sword and Shield over and over, and yeah, never mind. Let's just scratch that idea. The final point I want to bring up is the possibility of something beyond Dynamax, beyond Gigantamax. See, Mega Evolutions were prominently featured in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but the cover legendaries Groudon and Kyogre actually got a different transformation called Primal Reversion. Could we get something similar for Dialga and Palkia in the remakes? Perhaps we'll finally see the return of Primal Dialga from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, or even better, Primal Arceus. A while ago, I covered the leaked sprites from the Diamond and Pearl beta, and Arceus was by far my favorite, looking like some sort of primordial Lovecraftian horror. I would love to see this concept somehow show up in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and a primal form is the only thing I can think of that fits the bill, so make it happen, Pokemon. That is going to do it for this discussion. We could definitely dive in more into specific design ideas for certain Gigantamax Pokemon, but I wanted this video to be more just focused on if Dynamaxing will even happen in Diamond and Pearl remakes, and if you were paying attention, I think it's like a 99% chance that we will see it. You might have noticed I had to get a part-time job because not enough of you guys have subscribed to the channel, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for many more Diamond and Pearl remake videos, or well, I guess this weekend is literally the big Pokemon announcement, so stay tuned for the stream where I will be covering any announcements that come out. We still don't actually know if it's Diamond and Pearl remakes, although everybody on YouTube seems to think that's what it is. I'm gonna be... I wouldn't even be mad if it's like, let's go to Johto, to be honest, but I can't wait to see the salty fans if it's not Diamond and Pearl remakes. Oh my, I don't know what it is. I like thrive when I see people salty online, so no matter what it might be, we're definitely getting a new Pokemon game this year, so I'm happy about that, and I can't wait to see what is announced this weekend. Pokemon Day is just 3-4 days away now, so get hype, get ready, and I will see you in the next one. Man, I should have made this video a long time ago. Game Freak needs to hear these ideas.